Welcome all to Selective High School Placement Trial Test for Power Thinking Skills Test 26. So our very first question was a probability question. For this one we had to think about the combinations that you could get for each time you tossed a coin. We have tossed a coin 4 times. I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4. What are the probabilities, what are the possible things or outcomes you can get from each of these throws? In the first throw, you can either get heads or tails. Second throw, you can also get heads or tails, and so on. So for each of these combinations, let's see how many combos there are for each turn. We have 2, 2, 2, 2. And to find how many different combinations there are all together in all of the 4 throws, you times the things together like that. And you get a total of 16 combos, and the answer is B. You can also alternatively write it out, but it's much quicker and easier to do it this way. Next on, which calculation is correct? You have to be careful about your BODMAS here, okay? The answer is C, and let's try it. We have half by quarter by 3/4 by 32. So I'm going to multiply all of the bottoms together and all of the tops together. Okay, so top, remember this is actually 32 over 1. So the bottoms here, 4 4s are 16, divided by times 2 is 32, times 1 over 3 times 32. And obviously there's 1 and 1 there, but I'm not going to use that. You can cancel out the 32 and you get 3 over 1, which is 3. So C is correct. A, B, and D, it can be correct if you work it out in the wrong way. Okay, if you work it out without respecting BODMAS, then it would be correct, but you need to make sure to do BODMAS, okay? Now, the following follow the same rule. Find the missing number. So what's happening here? You're actually doubling, and then we're minusing something, okay? We double, we get 14, and then we have the minus 6. So we double, we get 26, minus 6. Double, we get 40, minus 6. Okay? So we double 12, we get 24, and we minus 6, we get 18. So the answer here is A. (16) So we have a pattern that we have to figure out. So how is it moving here? What I see is that the bottom one is kind of like close by to the top number. Okay, so I want to try times 2. If I times 2 to the top number, what do I have to do? I get 2, that's a plus 1, right? Here we times 2, we get 0, plus 1, we get 1. Here we times 2, we get negative 2, and if I add 1 to that, okay, it's going to go up 1, so it will be negative 1. Think about like if you have a penalty, okay, and you got penalized 2 marks, so minus 2, but then your teacher said, all right, I'll give it easy on you, okay, I'll go easy on you, I'll give you an extra mark, and you'll only be penalized 1 mark, right? Here, 0.5 is half, times 2, you get 1, plus 1, you get 2. So here, you need something times 2 plus 1 to get 19. So if you take away 1 from both sides, something times 2 must give you 18. So that something must be 9. So A is your answer. Right, 18, which is best supported by the passage above. So again, this is not about finding the final conclusion in this text, okay? It's about which of these A, B, C, D can be supported by the conclusion. The answer here is A. Okay, it might seem a little contrary to what they're saying, okay, because the final answer is you must get vaccinated every year, okay, to avoid being sick from different foods. Okay, but the main idea that relates to that conclusion is here. Okay, it is possible to catch the flu every year, unlike with other diseases such as chickenpox. Because of this statement, we know that chickenpox and other diseases, it is impossible to catch every year. Okay, so you don't need to get vaccinated every year. So A links to that, so it is the best supported conclusion. B, C, and D all have kind of some part of it is assumed or not completely from the text. Okay, so A is the best one. 21. Which best reveals a flaw in this argument? So they're talking about wolves, okay, and they said that the wolves restored, okay, the bison population in this park, in this specific park, okay. However, then they say, therefore, we should introduce wolves into every unbalanced ecosystem. What's wrong with this? Well, they have made something true for one specific case, true for every single case. Okay, it's like treating every single disease out there in the world with one single medicine. Okay, although that would be great, it is impossible because every case is different and unique. So B is the answer here. Okay, because wolves fix one ecosystem, it will fix every ecosystem. That is the flaw in the argument. 24. Historians do not know if King Arthur was a real historical figure. Which of the following can be implied from this statement? The answer is A. Okay. Because they don't know, they are uncertain if King Arthur existed or not, okay, that means that there is evidence on both sides. There is evidence supporting that he existed, and there's evidence saying that he did not exist, okay? So that's why there must be evidence that he was a real person. Furthermore, if there was no evidence suggesting he was a real person, then historians wouldn't even know that King Arthur existed. Okay, he was not even a name that they recognized or was ever heard of. So that's why A is the best answer here. You can have a look at this if you still need a bit more assistance. Right, 28. We have a business owner that calculate the sales for May, June, July this year and for May, June, July last year. What else do we need to calculate to figure out how much sales increased in the year? The answer for this one, let's check that I got it correct, is D. Okay, we're going to take the total of the 3 months last year from this year. Okay, so if I made 600 this year and I made 500 this year, to figure out the increase, we're going to minus it, aren't we? We're going to take the last year's one from this year's one. Okay, 2021, 2020. Okay, so that's why D is the answer here. C is very similar, but you're going to go the other way around, and you don't calculate increase by that. Okay, how much of sales increased in a year? You take this year's amounts, okay, and last year's amount, and last year from this year. 32. Which letters are missing in this series? So, let's look at the first letters first, okay? So we're going P, Q, O, R, N. P to Q, we get -1. Q to O, so +1. And then Q to O is -2. And then O to R, 1, 2, 3, +3. And then R to N, 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Okay, so the next one you have to have +5. So from N, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to S. So we can cancel out B and D. Now, for the second letters, we have M to N. Let's rub this out. M to N is +1. N to L, -2. So the same pattern, right? L to M. Oh, sorry. N to L is -2. L to M. So it's not the same pattern. +1. This is why you need to check. Okay. M to K, -2. Okay, so +1 -2, +1 -2, so we have +1. K +1 is L. So SL is your final one, which is option C. The final question. We have 3 races and 1 medal is awarded for each winner if they finish in the top 3. Pallavi says that if there are 3 races and 3 recipients for each race, that means I must buy 9 medals. What is the possible mistake that Pallavi has made? It's A. One recipient may have won more than one race. Okay, so if this recipient won 2, 3, or 4 races, then not 4, can't have 4 races, but 2 or 3 races, then they won't need to have 9 medals. Okay, so A is the best answer here. Right, so on to some takeaways now. So, full screen. So a main one here, I'm going to talk about the patterns, okay? For patterns, I need you to isolate the elements that are similar in the shapes. Use this to figure out how each element is moving. And apply to the rest of the pattern to find the question mark shape. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. You need to make sure you can find out what is a similar thing between the different given shapes and how that element is moving around. Okay, if I do one more thing, I'm talking about the worded questions. Okay, be very careful as to what the question is actually asking for. Is it asking for the best answer option? The answer option that is best supported by the passage? Or is it asking for the conclusion of the passage? Okay, or an assumption the passage has made. Okay, so you have to be aware about the actual question itself, or else there's no way of you to figure out what they actually want you to solve. So that is actually it for today. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed that video. For next week, try and apply those key takeaways. Okay, I'm sure it'll help you. Until then, I hope everyone has a lovely week, and I shall see you next week. Take care.